and I'm so happy to be here. And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of insights from this
Thank you
session
so much.
today.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you, Charu ma'am. Thank you for inviting me here. Thank you.
Ma'am, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, let's start, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, are you able to see the slide screen?
Yes,
Okay.
not the slide screen. I can see you.
Okay.
Yes, yes, let's begin, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. A very good evening to one and all gathered over here with us today. My name is Bhumika Gulla, and on behalf of Siddharth International Public School, me and my co hosts, Ms. Nikita Hooda and Mr. Puneet Gupta, extend our genial welcome to the esteemed panelist for the day, Mr. Amit Saxena, Vice President of Sparsh Enterprises. The Honorable Ms. Charu Srivastav, Director Principal of Siddharth International Public School, our dearest participants and other eminent guests. This is our third envisioning lecture under the Unnati Leadership Lecture Series, a school's flagship program and School Teacher Transformation Center. I would also like to inform you all that this session of ours is going live on the school's Facebook page and YouTube channel as well. Before opening up with today's lecture series, we all extend a floral welcome to our esteemed panelist of the day, Mr. Amit Saxena. Thank you so much, sir, for
Thank
your
you so
presence
much, ma'am.
today.
Thank you.
A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Today's lecture will be all about leadership redefined for the new normal. So, before we dive a little bit deeper, I would request our Honorable Director Principal, Ms. Charu Srivastav, to share some glimpse of today's topic with all of us. Over to you, Charu ma'am.
Thank you, Bhumika ma'am. Thank you for introducing sir and welcoming everybody. On behalf of the entire team of Siddharth International, I extend a very warm welcome to everyone here. And at the very onset, I would begin with sharing a shlok that I learned in school when I was, in class 8. It goes, Swayam Vidhata ho he manav, antar mein vishwas jagao, चलो न मिटते पटचिन्हों पर, अपने रस्ते आप बनाओ, अपनी आत्म ज्योति से पुलकित, अपने सूर्य स्वयं बन जाओ. And with this, I would like to share with you that we all create our own destiny and we all are leaders of our own circumstances, our own growth and development, and our future prospects. With this paradigm shift that we are all experiencing and calling it the new normal, which is also the topic for the day, I feel that the only strength we have right now is the fire to learn and to stay alive. And Unnati celebrates this zeal within, and this leadership lecture series is a part of this program. I welcome Amit sir, who is an exemplary leader with superlative leadership qualities. I hope, sir, that with your warm words and kind guidance, you serve us as intellectual stimulus to all of us and help us to excel and emerge as leaders. My vision of Unnati has been realized and internalized by my team, for which I'm extremely humbled, and I thank every member who has contributed to this event for making it successful. Thank you very much, and I now go over to Nikita ma'am, who can introduce Amit sir formally. Over to you, Nikita ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charu ma'am, and very good evening to one and all present here. Before taking this webinar forward, I would like to enlighten you all with a profile of our eminent guest speaker, Mr. Amit Saxena sir. Amit sir is a respected humanitarian and educationist and has done his post-graduation in business management along with many certifications courses from Ivy League institutions. Having 28 years of cumulative experience, Amit sir has started his career from Columbia Broadcasting Service, which was producing music labels of Sony in India, and worked with the Business Press, a subsidiary company of CBS, which brought a fashion and lifestyle magazine, Glad Rags, along with many other journals and stand magazines. Subsequently, he joined Cargill Western Group and was involved in more than 100 initial public offers for various corporate houses. Later, Sir joined the education field and worked with the Indian Institute of Planning and Management for about 17 years and looked after various verticals, including the Management Consulting Division. In 2015, he has joined as a Vice President, Education at Sparsh Group, which is a big conglomerate and deals in polyester films, packaging, hospitality, renewable energy, and education. Amit sir joined Sparsh Group in 2015 and looks after the education vertical, which encompasses K-12 schools in Delhi NCR and higher educational institutions in the areas of engineering, management and pharmacy based out of Indore. He is deeply involved in all the strategic initiatives, innovation, monitoring, and the execution of the group institutions. The group institutions have a cumulative strength of 6,000 students and 700 plus faculty and staff members. The group is also launching a couple of greenfield projects, which includes K-12 school and institution of higher learning in Delhi NCR by 2022. All these group institutions are doing phenomenally well and ranked in various parameters consistently amongst top institutions in their respective territories by renowned publications like Times of India, Education World, and Careers 360, etc. The exemplary work and umpteen unique initiatives in education made group institutions win the accolades from across the globe and also won the appreciation from Sabera Social and Business Enterprise Responsible Awards in 2018. An avid reader and writer, he is also the editor of Logopedia, a monthly magazine launched for group peoples which address and reflect on various important issues which are extremely imperative for students, faculty and parents. Sir is also an ambassador in India of 100, a Finland-based global NGO which deals in innovation of K-12 education across the globe. He also has been associated in various boot camps, pitch presentations and evaluated startup organizations with TIE and BIMTech Greater Noida. So this was all about Sir. Now we will be having a Q&A session with Amit sir. So first of all, sir, I would like to ask you that leadership is considered to be a skill that is acquired. So what are the most important values you demonstrate as a leader, especially with this paradigm shift to the new normal? Please enlighten us on how to build a team that collaborates for the greater good of the organization in times of happiness and strife. Also, sir, do share what your leadership style is. Lastly, we know that work and work ethics, including values, manners such as humility, courtesy, cordiality, respect for seniors, using magic words like sorry, thank you to build a healthy relationship with seniors and subordinates do enable us to understand that how do we as leaders ensure that our team imbibes these values as well along with competencies to achieve. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a beautiful initial presentation, and thank you, Charu ma'am, for extending this invitation. It's a pleasure to be here, and more so because a lot of educators are here, and I was just saying that leadership is a process which we learn and unlearn and relearn. So this is a very ongoing process. But before that, I will talk about the question which you have posed. Let's do a little exercise first, right? It's just going to take about 5 seconds or so. So just do what I say first, and then we'll talk about it. So all of you have to just raise your hand like this, the way I'm doing it. Raise your hand. Yeah, and touch your chin, please. So on the screen, everybody is touching the chin. Anybody other than which I can see on the screen is not touching the chin? If you can see, Puneet sir.
Yes, sir, I have used the and in hand for
Is there any connection issue?
Maybe.
Sir, I think Millie ma'am is experiencing an audio issue. Let's go on. Let's move on.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm saying that some of the time it's very nice that you hear what I said. Most of the time we do not listen properly, and that's, I think, the first very important lesson as far as the leadership is concerned. We need to be a very good listeners. Now, before I answer the question which you have said, I need to ask all of you, what do you think what leadership is? You all have been experiencing it at home, in your own professional life. What do you think what leadership is all about? Anybody can answer.
So being responsible of taking any task and trying to manage the situation, including the views of everyone in the team.
All right. Is there any role model? Is there any leader to whom you have followed and you admire that person?
Say APJ Abdul Kalam.
Sorry?
APJ Abdul Kalam. A great national leader.
And wonderful. So what do you like him?
So his honesty and obviously his leadership skills.
Leadership skills. So, what leadership skills, we all are working in an environment which is very, very challenging. Every organization, whether institution or a corporate office, you meet several people and there are several leadership theories are floating around. You type a Google on leadership and you would be bombarded with millions of pages in split of seconds. Most of them are originating from US or the Western world. And I personally feel no leadership can work till the time it is completely synchronized as far as your cultural issues are concerned. Look at the US, how differently they behave in terms of culturally, how different they are than the Indians. Because there is one common factor is there, which is we called hire and fire. So be it their personal life, be it their social life, be it their professional life, the phenomena remains the same, which is hire and fire. So, in US, typically the child remains with the family till about the age of 18 only. After that, he's on his own and he's working, he's funding his own education, and he's in a different way. In their personal life, when they get married also, they are again, unlike India, when we say Sajam Rishta, it is nothing like that out there. If you like, you are working. If it is not working, you split and get married again. Professionally also, I remember the book when I read Henry Ford. he was one of the guy who actually built this General Motors, but he got a call late in the night around 2 o'clock from a newspaper editor, Henry, have you heard that you have been fired? So this is the kind of a cultural issues are there when it comes to the US. Even in the reunion, if ex-husband and ex-wife will meet together and probably would be standing in a balcony and they would say that, my kids and your kids are playing with our kids. Very much possible out there. We can't think such kind of a scenarios here in India. So there's no point of talking about those leadership theories or the full of jargons which have originated from somewhere, and we try to imbibe them or try to implement in our style of leadership out there. For us, for Indians, the best leadership model comes from where? Who is your first leader?
Family member, father.
Sorry?
Father,
Father, parents.
parents.
Parents are the first leaders. And what kind of a leadership style they have?
Confidence,
Okay.
and yes, responsibility is there. And sticking to a decision, and we can say taking decisions, handling tough situations well.
All right. Let me explain it to you.
Amit sir, if I may say, taking on from Nikita ma'am, I think parents, when we talk about leadership styles and if we are taking technical terms in place, then I think parenting is both an aggressive and an assertive style. So sometimes they are aggressive towards us, but sometimes they're assertive also. So it's a win-win situation at times with parents.
Lovely. So let's see our childhood. When till the time when you were born, and till the time you are there at say about 1.5 years or so, the mother largely, of course both the parent, but mostly the mother, is there for you to look after you 24/7 at any point in time unconditionally. You are being fed, you are being taken care of your pee, potty, everything is happening over the bed and she's there looking after you unconditionally, as I said. But by the time the child is gaining some kind of a senses, he started responding, he started crawling, and he is at his own way when he goes out and he does pee and potty in a kitchen, on a puja room, or on a carpet or something like that. What mother says at that time? Mother doesn't talk to her nicely. Mother yell at him and even give a tight slap at that point in time. She doesn't talk to her nicely, ki beta, what you have done, this is not supposed to be, and things like that. So she is becoming, as ma'am said, assertive at that particular point in time, in spite of the fact it's a part of her body. She's taking care of her very nicely till about 1.5 years back, but suddenly she's changed the gear and she's putting you into a different kind of a situation out there. And this concept continues about your habits, about your time, what time you have to sleep, what time you have to feed, and your training and everything start happening till the age of 4 or 5 years, by the time you're gaining more senses out there. So the child also knows very well that mother is getting angry when he does not do or when she does not do anything as per her liking. So in the morning when he opens his eyes and he feels that he's feeling some kind of a pressure, he immediately goes to the potty seat rather than thinking that mother will come and help me. So this is the first phase of leadership when we encounter in our home, when mother becomes assertive, to train you, because she knows that you are a part of her body. You are very close, very dear, but she knows that you are an immature person. You have no senses what to do and what not to do. So therefore she has to be assertive. And we call it telling style of leadership or authoritative style of leadership. From class 3rd onwards, when the child, you, me, everyone, when we were gaining senses, everything was happening. We have more demands. We have, we need some gadgets, we need some books, we need some cricket cup gear or something like that. Every now and then we'll approach our father and we'll say, we need this. What father does that? Right? He puts some kind of a target to us. He says, yes, you will get this, but why don't you achieve this first? In my childhood, I was, my father says, if you have to, he wants me to read more books. So he says every page, I'll pay you 1 rupee. So I was interested my pocket money will grow more. So I started reading more pages. And after some time, I forget what pages or what money will I get, because you get into the habit of reading by that time. So from class 3rd to class 10th, this kind of a leadership, which parents typically use to incentivize your efforts, to make sure that what you're doing is absolutely is attainable, and you work harder than what you are doing have been doing otherwise. 3rd stage, when we reach the class 10, that time mother, you have to take a decision what stream I have to choose. And that time the mother doesn't say that I'll kick you or I'll slap you hard, take science. Or father doesn't say, I will pay you something, or I will give you a motorbike or something like that, but take this particular stream. They don't. They talk to each other. And they're not being able to take a decision. That time they will approach, say, Charu ma'am, and say, ma'am, this is what I want, this is my child want. Ma'am suggests everything, where the industry, what kind of a child is, let's have a psychometric test, and then you put him into one kind of a education stream. From there till class 12, you have to apply for various courses, coaching institution, professional qualifications, so and so forth. You're continuously working towards it. None of the time, both parents neither use the assertive style of leadership, nor they incentivize anything. They work closely with each other, right? And after, once you get the job, that is the time when you're about 25 years of age, and father generally feels that, he says that, you have achieved, you have reached, so you live your life, but then I probably would be happy to play with my grandchildren, and you manage your own life. So there are 4 stages we have seen in childhood when we get the first dose of leadership, which is direct through our parents, which first started with the assertive style of leadership, or telling style of leadership, or authoritative style of leadership. Second is when we come into, it's an incentivization plan. Everything has been incentivized. The 3rd stage, when it comes, is become participative style of leadership, right? And the 4th stage comes in when we say delegation. Now you live your own life. I'm not interested what you do, how you are doing it. I'm more interested in my grandchildren. And then that's how the life goes on. So a child who's 25 years of age, now he joins a corporate world. He joins a school. He joins an institution person. What kind of a leadership he's experiencing in his organization? How would you start? How you have started off? You are a mature person. You're professionally qualified. You have come out from the best of the institutions. Everything is perfectly fine. What is the first treatment which you get in the organization, in your first job? My friend of mine, who was IIT, IIM, joined Unilever, Hindustan Lever, Indian counterpart. And he was thinking that, he's joined a multinational company, he would be exposed with the best of the facilities out there. The day he joined, he got an order that he has to go to the villages to see the life of the villagers, because the maximum product of Unilever sells in the villages or in the towns. Because what has been taught in the classrooms is very, very different what the practical reality is there. So you may be best, but they will not treat you the best. They will give you the first-hand experience by putting you into the real life situations, so that you can correlate, and while you come back to the head office, you are more prepared that what is the reality, ground realities are there. They would know exactly what is the farmers do. They know exactly what time they put the money back into the bank, and they know exactly what is the time when they would withdraw the money from the post office. And that is the time they will launch their sales scheme, because they know that purchasing power has been given to is there in the hands of the people out there. There's no point of releasing anything which is not working anymore, and your entire strategy can go for a toss. So first experience is very, very grueling, very, very hard when they put you into the first stage of your corporate life. So therefore you put into a probation period for a 6 month, 1 year, 2 year, whatever it is. So you are mature, you are qualified, they have picked you up like a mother, but they treat you as immature because you have no corporate experience. Boss knows that I want, you don't know what you think that I know everything, but that is not the reality of. So first stage in the corporate world again becomes a telling style of leadership. The way your mother was treating you, when she was training you in the first couple of years, after when you are more impressionable in terms of responsive utterance. The second stage after your 2 years or 1 year of your probation time, the second style, the same boss, what your father used to put everything in incentivized plan, the same your boss does it. If you have to achieve this, this is where you have to benchmark yourself. And your increment plan, your designations, your incentives, everything has been linked as for your performances is concerned, right? The third stage, when you are more mature, you have like 5-6 years of experience, you are doing phenomenally well, bosses started liking you and everything. The third stage comes in when he start talking about certain strategies, how to launch a new product, new courses, a new style of pedagogy, any new innovation. They would not use any other style, but they will use the participative style of leadership. That time he will invite you, have a discussion, brainstorming. He will hear you out completely. He will respect your ideas and decisions. He may pick, he may not pick, but you would be given an opportunity to think and present your thoughts out. That's participation style. And the last, the way father has given a delegation job. I'm more interested in my grandchildren. He also asks you, open this branch, go to this zone, approach, launch a new product, launch a new, a territory, something like that. So he knows that I have groomed my person, and therefore he is now can responsibly can manage the entire office. He doesn't need my leadership anymore. I remember when I was with IIPM, my target was not the revenue. Top 3 people, the target was to create the leadership. The more we create, the more the organization will grow. So the leadership is not about something when we think about us. It's about the organization, how passionately you believe in your work, how passionately you are delivering consistently, and therefore the term called sustained sincerity. It's not about getting 100% marks in one test and then you are performing average. Maybe the luck factor, maybe you worked hard, maybe the paper was easy, whatever it is. But if it is consistently in coming in one particular direction, therefore you need to be that in the direction that, the guy has arrived and he can be trusted very. A lot of people come and say, I've been not given this responsibility, I've not been trusted enough, things like that. We'll come to that part later. But look at the leadership style. It is seamless. Like the US, we said, hire and fire. Here it is all bonding, relationship, emotions, and 4 different styles. So what is the best style of leadership we are talking about here? It's situational. When you enter into the office, you have to meet the freshers. Your style of leadership is very different. Then you walk into the different cabin, which is sales-oriented people. Your admission team is there. Your discussion is entirely very, very different with them. When you get into the leadership team of the school, you talk about very differently because you're talking about the macro level things out there. And every leadership style is very different. It cannot, it is all compartmentalized. It cannot mix with each other. The moment we do that, we face the music accordingly. So situational leadership we are talking about, like a chameleon, you have to change your color to see the different set of people. And people also can be categorized into 3-4 different categories. How the 4 different categories? There's someone who's immature, someone who's slightly more mature, somebody who can be given the responsibility. So as per the nature of the person, it has nothing to do with your qualification, it has nothing to do with your age per se. It has all to do with your overall outlook. How do you see life? How do you see work? There are people who may not be very, very well qualified, but yet they are a great performer. And therefore we have been taught that 3 things are important in life, which is principle of us: attitude, skills, and knowledge. Today I can learn anything which I want if I have an attitude to learn, to understand more. So it cannot be, it is always ASK, it cannot be SKA or KSA. Attitude is the first thing which is required, and if you have the right attitude for the right places, you can achieve anything. So we are talking about a situational leadership. We are talking about 4 different kind of people out there, and everyone has a different role to play. Everyone has a growth chart as well. A mature person can be a decision maker tomorrow if he has been groomed well, if he has the right attitude quotient in his place. But if we think that we have come from a very big background, we are from this institution, that institution, and we should be given a leadership role immediately because we are compassionate. You think about yourself whatever you want. You're free, but your boss needs a different kind of person, different kind of orientation towards you, and he would groom you the way he wants. So your question is about what leadership attributes. There are plenty, but the first thing first, a leader has to be very, very clear about the vision where you want it to be. And that vision is very important. We ask a very cliche question in every interview, where you want to see yourself 10 years. And trust you me, out of 10, 8 people would struggle because they have not seen the life beyond 10 years. They see life 1 year, 6 months, 3 months. There's no vision, many of them. So you have to have a vision, whether it is micro level, macro level, but is it personal or organizational? First thing. Second thing, you should know that what are the processes which are involved to reach there. So once you know the processes, you create the strategies accordingly. Once you create the strategies accordingly, you put into implementation plan, you bring your team, and nothing will happen till the time the team is in place. No leader can be successful because you are a great guy. The organization doesn't work with one person. Organization works, with the team of the people. And when the team is there, Steve Jobs, if we all know about him, he has spent 50% of his time to identify the right talent for the organization. He says, let me take 1 more year to get the right person. But once the right person is there, I'm not going to sit on his head and tell him that what to do and what not. Then I'm a failure because I've not picked the right person. So leadership is also having an eye to pick up the right talent, empower him rightly. If he's a fresher, then groom him the way we have talked about the 4 stages, and so on and so forth. So look at the India-ness, because when we try to import the leadership modules from other countries, we try to play around with those jargons. It doesn't simply work. What works in India will not work in US. What working in US will not work in India. And there are several companies who had been doing extremely well in one territory when they go to different culture, because they have not been able to integrate the culture out there. Why we need a safety security net for all the time for us? Why we look for a government jobs? Pandemic, no pandemic, recession, no recession. I need a safety net. I want job security. And if it is not happening, I feel very uncomfortable. Unlike US, which is hire and fire. Tomorrow, boss says, I don't like the shape of your trouser, he can be fired. And I think I go to the market, if I'm good enough, somebody will fire me. That's okay. Nobody repents. And since there is no emotional connect with the people, they survive, thrive, and are doing extremely very well out. Why we are celebrating Mother's Day, Father's Day, Sister Day, Brother's Day? It's all US concept because they don't stay together. Why the Facebook has come? Because it was a channel, it was a platform to connect with the family members. Why do we need Facebook? Why do we have to celebrate Mother's Day or Father's Day? We are staying with them. For us, every day is a Mother's Day or Father's Day. So nothing will work till the time blindly, mindlessly we follow certain concept which is not going to work at all. Look at the pyramid. From Indian perspective, you can talk about. We have bottom of the pyramid, which is called tamas, right? Then in the middle we have rajas, and at the top we have satviks. Now, if you look at the caste structure, at the bottom you have shudra. In the middle you have Vaishya and Kshatriyas, and then at the top you have the Brahmins. The same thing if you look at in the corporate structure, you have the immature people sitting at the bottom of the organization, the freshers, right? The middle is your middle management, which is working, and the top management, of course, is the leadership. So all the 3 things, if you integrate and say, how do we say that? The bottom of the pyramid, we say bhakti yogis. You have been asked to do it, blindly follow the instruction and do it. Don't ask the question. Then the middle management, you incentivize or you participate, you work together. And of course, there is a top leadership, which is in caste structure, you could call it Brahmins. In the corporate, you say the decision maker, the top leadership team out there. Does it work like that in India? The bhakti yogis, the karma yogis, and the gyan yogi, does it the structure is as sacrosanct as we are talking about? Is there any organization which works in the similar fashion out here, the way we spoke? Answer is maybe no. The only organization which I can think of works in that fashion particularly is army. Because the army guys, when the Jawans are there on the border, when the colonel or the major says fire, he fires. He doesn't ask the questions. He doesn't say that, why should I fire? Why don't you fire? He doesn't say that, what we will gain if we kill so many people. He is being trained in one particular direction, that fire means fire, no question. The middle of the organization where they execute the plan of the top leadership, it is the journals. So the entire setup is worked like that and works wonderfully very well. But mostly of the organization, if you see, it doesn't work. The Bhakti Yogis will become the Jnana Yogis, and the Jnana Yogis will become the Bhakti Yogis. The entire corporate sector will go to the government of India and will ask about the deduction, certain tax benefits, not about how do we create the more market, how do we give the more purchasing power to the people so that we can sell more product rather than what we are selling. We think that saving money is the greater thing rather than creating more wealth. So creating wealth for themselves, it's fine, but creating the wealth for the nation is not something which we have witnessed so far, right? So this is how the problem is, because when you are not channelizing your model of leadership to a different segment differently, like as I said, situational leadership is the best model of the leadership. You are the same person, but I can't remain assertive and aggressive throughout my life with every set of people. There are people, I can't go and tell the scientists who are the top Satviks, I can't say कि परसों vaccine दे देना नहीं तो problem हो जाएगा. You have to lead them, you have to give them a space to them. They are the best guys, you have hired them, you are trusting them, their abilities. But when I come to a different guys who are the executors, उनके साथ I have to put a different kind of a leadership style out there. And the fresher होगा उसके साथ I can't sit and make the strategies with the fresher. And it's a waste of time out there. So everyone, and therefore we say the people have to be, in case if we look at around and say we divide people into 4 categories, M1, M2, M3 and M4. 4 kind of people. One category is the people which is the fresher. The second category is the people who looks for the growth, people like us. We need everything, because at home the environment has been given that if you achieve this, you will be getting. There's always a carrot, big carrot is hanging in your head and you're looking for that target. And therefore you always would want to achieve more and be successful. And in your life, the time will come where nothing will matter but the self-actualization. In Maslow's hierarchy, if you look at again the same pyramid is there, from safety net, security net, and the physical net, social needs, and finally it is self-actualization. You are not bothered about how much I've earned. The more the people who are wealthy, they would be more down to earth and they would be living a simple life because they know they have achieved everything. Now it is time to give back to the society. The same cannot happen at the earlier age. Look at this entire phenomena of different style of leadership in different circumstances. When I was studying management, we have a book called Marketing Management by Philip Kotler, and Philip Kotler is considered the father of marketing. When he had come to India, we had met, attended his session and everything. Very nostalgic, very great guy and everything. So he has created a chapter which is called Product Life Cycle. And in product life cycle, he says there are 4 stages. When we launch a product, that's the first stage. Then the product is when you successfully launch a product, it reaches to a different stage, which is called growth stage. Launch, first stage. Second stage is the growth stage. The third is the maturity stage, and fourth is the decline stage. So any product, any services, when we are launched, we launch with a great deal of homework first. When we launch, the product is successfully launched, it will go up. It's a growth phase. Everybody would want to be there in the growth phase. But if we are not innovating, if we are not showing a different style of leadership at growth stage, we started maturing it. And after the maturity, the next step comes the decline, which is the death of growth. When in my time, when I was growing up, none of the brand today exists. None. Any white good products, Salora, Dynora, Onida, Western, the BPL, Calvinator, Zenith, Rath, Dalda, all brands have gone completely. And they were the ones who were ruling the market. What went wrong with them? I'm sure all of you have heard about Kodak. The Kodak movement was such a big thing. When you click the camera, you say, you click the picture and you say the Kodak movement for us. The company has $1 billion of the reserve with them. But when the mobile phone came, the cameras started coming in the mobile phone. A lot of warning signal has been given to the Kodak, and they said, no, we are Kodak. Nothing will happen to us. We are the market leaders. Nothing. We have survived so many different challenges. This is not going to work. Today's a company is a bankrupt company because leadership has not evolved with the time, and they have not changed the track the way they should as per the market demands are concerned. So orbit has to be changed, and that is what we have been taught. That in our life cycle also there are 4 stages. You have brahmacharya, you have grihasthashram, you have vanprasth, and you have sannyas. Why there is no single stroke? Everything has been, every orbit has been defined, and if you continue to overlap with each other, you would not get the desired results out there. So leadership is not about simple certain attributes. We can talk about certain attributes, of course, and there are several which has been written out there. It's all about thinking much at a broader level, having your processes in place, strategy in place, and then most important part is your organization development. How you are employing people, and then empowering them as far as the levels are concerned. And your treatment to each one of them is very different. It cannot be one style of leadership. You would witness authoritative style of leadership throughout in one particular person or in one particular organization. You would find everything is becoming very, very participative, or everything is becoming very incentivized. It doesn't work like that. It looks very simple. There are a lot of exceptions would be there, but then this is where the core of leadership would remain. And that is how it would work in India. Like Japan, if you look at, very, very like us, bonding, family, the joint family, the eldest is taking the decisions. They respect the experience. And the eldest does not mean he's the highly qualified person, but they give a lot of importance of the weightage, in such kind of situations out there. You go to Sony's office or Toyota's office, you would find even a person who's handicapped has been given a job, and job with a dignity, not with a mercy. That's the value the leadership brings in. And therefore these companies would always remain the world leaders, irrespective of the time which they have witnessed. So the entire thing, and look at the entire perspective. If you talk about the bhaktis or the gyan yogis or the karma yogis. So when bhakti yogis had gone to the God and says, how do we reach you, God? What did he say? Lord Krishna, what did he say? God said, trust me blind. He knows that you are a mature people. You cannot be given any other style, because he says कि trust me, भगवान सब ठीक करे. तो आप भक्ति, इसीलिए आपको भक्ति योगी बोला गया है, because you trust me blind. When karma yogis had gone to the God and said, how do we reach you? What did he say? He didn't say bhakti yogi. He didn't say कि trust me blindly. He says work is worship. गीता में लिखा है, work is worship. आप काम करिए, आपको फल मिल जाए. Work is worship. मेरी पूजा मत कर, काम की पूजा. And when these top leaders, the Sattviks had gone to the God, same question, how do we reach you? He didn't say bhakti, he didn't say karma. He knows that you are there. He said, deny my existence and you will find. God is saying, deny my existence and you will find. So he is again as a leader. He's treating you differently because he has compartmentalized people into different kind of things, and he bracketed them. This is how it is going to be. So a country like ours, which is very different than the globe outside, works very, very different. Out here, I think the emotional connect is far greater than anything else. We feel more connected with the organization. We say the culture is very good because Charu ma'am has been taking care of everyone. she's being accessible, she is being, talking, giving, empowering people, and so on and so forth. You feel more connected with the organization, and then you perform that. As we were discussing, that one of the men probably is facing some challenges at home, but examination department, what ma'am was saying, but you still come forward and say, because you feel that I'm a part of this entire thing. A lot of emotional bonding and connect is there, which may not be outside. And though there are management books, there are management courses and everything, what we read in the books not necessarily is there in your practical lives. So those are hardcore theories. We can name theories into different jargons. We can make things more complicated. My teacher used to say, anything which you are teaching, and that is what the great teachers we all have seen, anything which you can simplify rather than complicate. If you're complicating the process, then you are alienating with your audience. Even if it is the most difficult thing, make it so simple that everybody wants to study your subject rather than thinking कि यार ये बहुत boring subject. Be it social study, which looks like a rote learning, which looks like what is this history means to us, how it's going to help. That's a separate debate. But it's about the teacher, how he's or she's teaching the subject, how much he's involved or he's involved, and the children have no other thing but to respect and love the subject and will perform very well. So here is a concept which looks very doable to all of us. And of course, we can say that there are theories have been floated, 9 C's of leadership, this leadership, that leadership, what attributes you should have. Of course, a person is a visionary, he's humble, he's compassionate, he's a good listener, he's very passionate, he's very patriotic, all these things. But when we say that you said Mr. Kalam Sahab was our president, I had this privilege to meet him once, and we had gone to meet him to present certain books and stuff like that. I couldn't believe that I'm meeting the president of India. He was so humble, though he was president, a scientist, missile man and everything. But the moment you go, feel like you're talking to your grandfather. It was literally that kind of a feeling was there, and he was talking, listening as if that as a child. That's his persona, the personality, because he had seen the life, maybe very struggled, very tough time when he reached to the top. The first citizen of the nation. Yet there was absolutely, very, very grounded out. And there are people whom you would meet, and they have not achieved anything, but yet you fly full of themselves, and you feel that this man or this organization probably would have limitation in terms of the growth is concerned. So we need to evolve ourselves. We need to evolve. If what we are doing continuously, we continue to do that. Like, you'll become either the white elephants or you will become dinosaur, and you will finish it off. Pandemic, no pandemic, doesn't matter. 10 years back, today we are talking about pandemic, but 10 years back we were talking about recession. Before that 10 years, we were talking about political instabilities and how the India is on the verge of losing out the entire forest exchange for 45 days. These challenges will come in some form or the other. But the fundamental of the organization would never change. Your leadership style is also to learn. As I said, learn, unlearn, relearn. So nothing is sacrosanct. What is working, we have to see and evolve what would work best for the organization to all our stakeholders. And that is where I think is the crux of being a good leader, treating different people. So somebody who's immature will not remain immature forever. You're grooming him to come to the second stage, from second to third stage, and third to fourth stage. I may think that I'm from this particular institution and I should be given this particular responsibility, but that's how I think. I have no idea as far as how the market behaves, and my leader has to teach me. And I feel more connected. Yes, this is how. And everyone given a chance, you, me, and we try to cheat the work and the organization when we are immature. And therefore the boss does not trust you, and therefore it's the concept of the probation is there, because he or she has to give a complete download about how the things works, how the things the way I want. I don't seek any suggestion from you till the time you are completing your probation period. telling style of leadership. But that style of leadership has to change. If remains telling throughout, the person would leave the organization. So telling to we come into the incentivize to become to participative, from participative we come to delegation. And that's how you remain in the organization, and that's how you feel more connected, bonded, and doing more than what has been asked for. So, however, at a micro level we are in, we need to see ourselves as a leader and say that what is it which I can give back to my organization. Of course, I've been given this particular task. How best I can do? How can I shorten the period of my probation, of my incentivization? How do I reach to this participative, to the top leadership out? Not by default. You have to work towards. And any good leader would have an eye. If even if on a piece of paper the appointment letter says 11 months or 12 months or 6 months, they always can shorten the period. It's a very bright person. Let me not put into this thing, and you get early. Life cycle keeps changing accordingly. So any organization, any individual who is not evolving will not be able to survive. We all know, the star millennium, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, 50 years he's completed in the industry, yet he's calling the shots from this generation to that generation. Look at his today acting, look at the way he dialogue delivery today compared to what he used to do, when he started off his career. He's evolved over a period of time. Not just the role, even the mechanism. He's not using those style in his acting, what has been made him a hero out there, because he knows the time and the generation has changed. I'm catering to a different generation. It's like a product life cycle. He's still in the growth stage. He's not declined, because every stage he brings a new perspective. God of cricket, Sachin Tendulkar, if I can give his example. When he started off at the age of 16, he was a very aggressive player. Every ball, first over, first match, however the match, what he probably tried to hit it out of the ground. He remained aggressive, yet he changed his game. He's focused more on technique rather than the power. And he survived for 24 odd years. And we are talking about a lot of organization which has vanished, and a lot of organization are on the verge of vanishing, simply because leadership has not. We have not been able to change ourselves as the market demands. Today, the businesses will survive because it is not supported by technology. It is led by the technology. We were very apprehensive about the technology 10 years back. Today, we at our, everybody is doing something which is technology supported by technology. Mark things next 2-3 years, rather than COVID has preponed the entire process. It has to be technology, nothing else. So, as a person, I need to learn technology. I can't say that I'm the boss here. I know everything. Let the people understand. If people will understand, they'll fool you. So if digital is the word, I have to get my knowledge updated and think, what was working earlier is not working anymore. So I have to unlearn that particular part. I have to learn the new techniques. And because of internet, we have become very, very small world. You can learn anything from anywhere. It is all available. All you need is a realization that I need to upgrade myself. I need to change the orbit. If you're not changing the orbit, you would disappear sooner or later. The beauty of US, which I admire a lot, every chief executive, managing director, chairman, professional executive would write books on leadership. Though it is different than us, but they write. They write how they have become successful. You would not get this kind of a concept in India. Barring some IT companies, but they will talk about how to start a business on entrepreneur management, but they will not talk about how they have reached the way where they are, why we look up to them. You will never get a book from Ambani's to Tata's to all these organizations. Because in India, as I said, Bhakti Yogi, Dhyan Yogi, there are a lot of other methods which we use to become big and which cannot be published. So we in India do not get a first-hand experience of our own corporate leaders, how they have achieved success consistently and they have reached there on the top. So because we find our leadership or our corporate leadership, I would say, is more of finding the gray areas in the system, bank upon it and make it big till the time somebody will wake up. So we as country is more reactive in nature than proactive in nature. So look at the environment around you, how many big transparent corporate organizations we have in India. How many people we talk about corporate governance when everything is available on the click of the button of the entire organization, right? And maybe, and those who are doing it because of the compliances, because of the US, because large percentage of the business is offshore business. So coming back to the topic, that what leadership, I just summarize everything once again. Situational change is extremely important, and identify people as far as their caliber is concerned, and keep giving them an opportunity so that they remain with you for a longer time. And I think there are organizations, with due respect, which has groomed their people very well, and therefore the sustainability is very high. We don't talk about the employee turnover ratio out there because somebody will left very, very quickly, things like that. So it works both ways. When management takes a decision, you also have to reciprocate accordingly and value the whole process, what the organization philosophically is being built upon. So we may come with our own set of ideas, but it has to match with the organizational point of view. And the leader is always try to bring you closer to the vision of the organization. So when we start something today, when we look for a change, somebody will treat me as a fresher, or somebody will treat me at a participative style or a completely a delegation style of leadership. Those variations will come as we grow up on the ladder. And why your past remains past. If I may say that I've achieved this much, the new organization will treat me as a fresh guy. Yes, the time frame would be very limited. He would see that how fast you're gaining the confidence of the promoter or the management or the leadership out there, how you are as a person is getting gelling well as far the organization culture is concerned. Those things are there, of course, and it takes a little while to fine-tune the processes, but largely it remains same in the perspective. Even a person who has scored the 100 runs, he takes a fresh start. He doesn't start the way he was playing. He thinks that I have to start fresh from 0. 100, I have scored a cent. But 101 run, the one run is another one. So, but he will get into the groove very fast because he knows the pitch, he knows the bowler, he knows the environment. His adaptability or flexibility would make him sure that he's for another 100. Yeah. So this is how I think a concept of leadership is there. Yes, the challenges are there. As I said, 2009-10. Prior to that, I have not heard a recession as a practical aspect of recession. I would say it was more of in bookish knowledge that what happened in US and how it has impacted life of the business houses and the corporates, so on and so forth. But by 2010, when the recession hit us, it was the first practical experience. And then very quickly, with your own knowledge and experience, you navigate the way and find a new direction for your organization. Similarly, pandemic last year came. None of us heard about lockdown. None of us, but very quickly, I was talking to Charu ma'am the other day that this year the conditioning is there. First time last year, we were not aware. I mean, teachers were not aware how to take online classes. And technology and teachers remain, I'm sorry, but technology and teacher remains very, very poles apart. I mean, not many see them using technology per se. But today you are completely dependent on the technology. Rather, you have reinvented yourself. And that is what a great, I think, experience and the learning curve we all have in our life if we are open to the idea. So we can be whatever we want to be, but for that, rigidity is something which probably would not lead us anywhere. Either at a macro level, which is leadership, either at a micro level, which you are ruling me. So flexibility is something which is important, and you keep evolving yourself by thinking the what target which I have and what kind of a time frame which I want to give it myself to reach to the next step. The more you work hard, the better the results will, and you feel more closer to the organization. So the question which you have asked me, the qualities of the leadership for this, as I said, he has to, or she has to be a visionary first, and he has to believe on the vision, because at times, when we set the targets, somebody comes and we start wavering and thinking, ye bhi ho sakta, because we have not given our the complete homework we have not done. So when we take a decision as an organization, however it is top leadership, but we believe a lot in brainstorming session, sitting with the top leadership team, and we discuss everything as much as possible, and being devil's advocate to think what can go wrong and what is the plan B for it. So and that's how things can be formed up. And we do a lot of market research. We use all management tricks in order to get the product or the services right. And we, as I said, participative. So no one person is thinking. The 5 brains are working together, and the best of the 5 brains are working together. And very possibility that we go wrong there. So that's the stage, and we plan and strategize things. And of course, the second stage, when you say that, and of course, once you set the vision, when you create processes, and as I keep saying that, every good organization would spend a lot of time for HR, because having a right person for the right job is the job of a leadership. If I put a right person in a wrong job, it reflects upon me that, you will not be able to pick the right person, and that having the right person for the right job means that your product very well, the profile of your product very well, your customers very well, and you think that who can work and who cannot work in this kind of a scenario. So this is how it's like, every day you find new challenges every now and then, and you keep working towards it and keep winning those small battles and come on the top. So this is what I think, in a broad sense, if we can put leadership as a perspective here. Welcome more questions in case if I can answer.
Thank you, Amit sir. Thank you so much. We had loads of questions, and I'm sure Puneet sir would find that you answered a lot of them, but there are still more coming your way. We are running short of time because it was from 4 to 5, but then we can stretch it to half an hour more. That's not really a problem, because you are anyways on board, and this is a great opportunity. And what I really realized was I could see, my educators who have joined me, those whose videos are switched on, somebody was looking up, somebody was pondering, somebody was in a questioning mode. So I'm sure you've got them thinking. I remember this, when I started my career, I had already finished my master's, and we were all expecting in our B.Ed colleges that, we are masters in our subject, so we must be getting some, high profile jobs. That's when my principal told me that you must be a master of your subject, but you are not yet a master of how to teach the subjects. So if you have to start with nursery, don't crib. And from there, we learned that initially a little policing, a little monitoring is important, and a little mentoring is also important. And that's when you kind of grow your wings, and there is always a leader who you look up to. I have leaders I look up to. And, it's all about building relationships. In India, especially, we are an emotional country. So in all the things, we know that there is an outburst of emotions at all times, be it positive or negative emotions. And there is really no shorter way to kind of reach the heights. And since it's all about relationships, or the education sector is also all about relationships, then, it's a two-way street. I don't think, and a leader in India, I feel, that is a mixture of many leadership styles, and it is kind of, customized. So for some people, you need to monitor a little bit. Some people, you leave them. There are some new members in my school who are very proactive. There are some members in my school who are already at the level, so I feel how to, take them further high. And there are some I need to support. So you see, your mentoring style differs. And Absolutely. As a team, I'm lucky that, everybody kind of takes it in with even though if it's with a pinch of salt, that's okay. But that's, I think, one of the questions that Puneet sir is going to ask you, that leadership, if you are at a leadership role, then there is also some criticism that comes your way. There are some roadblocks that come your way. There are some blockages that come your way. And if you are taking it all as a relationship, then there are moments of happiness, there are moments of strife, there are moments of sadness, there are moments of conflicts. So which I think we need your support to kind of work upon. So Puneet sir, I will hand over to you. You will moderate the session from now on. Please ask the questions that have come, and if you can club few questions and put them together so that we save them time.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. So, Amit sir, my first question is, how do you get other to accept your ideas, and how would you go about getting cohesion among a team who is disagree?
So, first of all, as I said, if you are clubbing different set of people into one group, then you are inviting problem. So first of all, we have to segregate the people that for example, when I talk to my fresher, the management trainees out there, I will deal with them very, very differently, and I will put them into a different group out there. Because my leadership style, as I said, telling style of leadership, it doesn't work with the second or third category of the people out there. In US, very recently the study has a lot of companies give a lot of focus on external part of communication. We tell the world that how good we are and how we, what we are doing. But internal communication is something which we all are lacking. So first of all, at the time of induction in any organization, I think induction is something which is very, very important. First, pick the right person for the job. Two, orient the person, because he comes from certain baggages. His family background you are not aware about. His past experience you are not aware about. You have seen his CV. You have seen his communication skills. You have seen his academic understanding. Not beyond that. And one of my in previous organization, my director used to tell me, okay, Amit, how many rounds of interview you will take with somebody before you induct a person? 4, 5, but in 5 rounds, how much you can gauge a person? You can learn about a person when you work together with the person. So I think, first of all, compartmentalize. Second thing, the induction is very important. Third thing is have a great discussion. Even if as a leader you are wrong, if somebody says, allow people to have to share what they feel. It may be right, it may be wrong. If it is wrong, for example, then it is your responsibility as a leader to explain the perspective and say why you are saying so and what is the logic behind it. They will understand. So communication is important. What happens is when somebody criticizes something, say my decision, somebody has criticized, I will feel very bad. I'm the, so-and-so, and how can you question me while I'm talking to you? Nothing of that sort. It is my responsibility to understand the person does not have that kind of a maturity. I will take half an hour more today and orient the entire group that what we are trying to do is a very well thought of strategy. We have spent time. Any chinks which you are finding here, we are open to the idea. But when we are discussing in a room, you are allowed to speak your mind. Either you convince me or I convince you. The moment you leave my room, don't sit silently here and go out of my room and say कि मैं बोल रहा हूँ ये हो गई नहीं. This is a very worst idea. And देख लेना ये नहीं होगा. फिर तो नहीं होगा because आपने यहाँ से block कर लिया. So we all have to sit with an open mind. And when we say brainstorming or open session, it is meant to be literally open sessions. And only those people who have the ability to speak on the subject are there, and we must respect. And if there is a confrontation or conflict of ideas, we have to explain. Either they are good in their ideas, then as a leader I have to accept, yes, I made a mistake, what's wrong? And if I think my homework is absolutely done completely and you are wrong, I will convince you that why you are thinking wrong. So it is all about having a communication and confidence on each other, giving that kind of a space to the people. And even if I say, okay, let's try it out for 6 months, if it is not working, as a good leader, any which ways, when you implement things, you execute things, you monitor things. And anything which goes wrong, you go back to your board and you redraw the picture and say, what has not worked, why it is not working, and then you redraw the complete plan. So I think a trust on each other is extremely important out here. The space is extremely important out there. And ability as a leader if you're sitting there and you are listening to the criticism, have that heart, nothing go. And in a manner you can explain things by telling that what you have planned is actually more important and worth rather than somebody's idea. So I think communication is the only key. And a lot of people, when they join the organization, do not have. I mean, I can vouch. It happens in our organizations. I keep asking in between, what is the vision? What are we working for? Are we coming in the morning, putting everything in the staff room, goes there and starting the classes, go back, whatever the man has given the task? Or is there any task towards common goal which we are? What is the common cause for us? And common cause, what written on your first page of your brochure, your website, it says this is the vision. And that vision is something very important, what a leader would try to implement by using Samdam Dandabhed, by using all different kind of people, by using different style of leadership. So participation, leadership, when we are having a brainstorming, we know that all people are worth, they have reached there because of certain caliber, or they have shown out. Yes, please.
Yes, sir. So, next question is, sir, what is the most difficult part of being a leader, and how do you go about resolving these kind of conflicts?
Wonderful. So leadership is as I said, is all about believing first what you want to create. Second thing, bringing everybody together on the same page. And you can bring the people on the same page by having a consistent communication with your, as I said, the organization have different layers, and if you are spending more time with the wrong people, then nothing can be done. So you need to identify that who are my people. And there is an economics theory which says 80-20, which means that 20% of the organization works for the 80% of the organization. So 20% in every aspect of life, if you see, it's Italian economist Pablo, which is popularly known as the 80-20 theory. 20% in any organization would remain self-motivated lot. And any task, any time, irrespective of their experiences, you give it to them and they will excel in that performance out there, irrespective they're junior most or the senior most. So those, you as a leader, I identify who are my top 20 people, to whom I can empower, I can believe, I can see that they're my man Fridays. You know, anytime, whenever I need them, they're there for me. Then the second lot comes in, which you think that they're groomable, and therefore you require a different kind of a leadership, you know, as their experiences or the time they spend in the organization. But bringing together everybody on the same page, the common goal is extremely important. Macro level, we don't do many things what others do. Our job is to think and strategize, identify, and see that, you know, everything is happening as per the plan. There are people, there are leadership who would be very micro-piloting everything. हमने एक पिक्चर भी देखी है अभी थोड़े दिनों पहले आई थी, लास्ट ईयर शायद, हेलीकॉप्टर मदर और हेलीकॉप्टर मॉम और समथिंग लाइक, which says that, you know, whatever the child is doing, she's there, concern, सब कुछ है उसका, bonding है, relationship है, सब कुछ है, but the child gets irritated कि हर समय मेरे पीछे पड़ी रहती है, you know, whatever I am doing, she's there for me. So helicopter leadership also will not work with every kind of people. It works only with one set of people. And as ma'am said beautifully, that you are postgraduate, masters, but she was treating her at the first stage level only, you know, go and get the first experience. That's how you will learn up to the ladder, and in no time she has reached to the top position out there, because attitude is there to learn things. The flexibility is there to adapt and work. As I said, ask. Attitude, skills, and knowledge. Knowledge can be acquired, skills can be acquired. If you do not have the attitude, it will not work. It will not work. However, as a top leader, whatever you try to do, you know it's not working with him or her. So let's keep that person away as far as my core group is concerned, and then you regroup and things like that.
Like we say, mentoring comes before monitoring.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, Puneet sir.
Okay, so next question is, how do you lead through changes, and do you receive criticism as well, and what kind of criticism and how do you lead with it?
I think I just said there are two kinds of a criticism. Let's define what criticism is. There is a positive criticism, there is a negative criticism. If I'm doing something, you come out with a great idea, as a leader I would accept it, trust you me. right? Because it is good for the organization. But if you keep thinking that, everything is being very critical, everything is being very, very negative, then it doesn't work like that. And as I said, when you're sitting in the room, you've been allowed to speak. And when you're allowed to speak, you have to share your ideas. Don't sit idle, don't sit, with your mouth shut and go out and say, ye to nahi hoga. वो तो आपका negative attitude है. आपके नहीं होने से तो नहीं चलेगा. Organization तो will work, will move forward. So first of all, you are not asking a fresher or a management trainee to come and speak. You're asking only a responsible people who have reached to this position by virtue of being their experience and their performances and everything. So a good leader will never be afraid of any criticism per se. And if it is negative, I will deal it accordingly. If it is positive, I will accept it and deal it accordingly. So when we say we are emotional people, there's a lot of bonding which we have. We must respect. And leaders inspire the team members so that they can speak up. It's better to thresh out all the point in a boardroom rather than going half-hearted way and implementing something and then coming back and saying, "Maine to bola tha ye nahi." Half-baked things will not work. No passionate person will believe in that particular fashion. He has to, even if I do not agree tomorrow with Charu ma'am for something, when I go out, I say, it's my leader's vision, let me go out, and rather than proving her wrong, I will prove her right, that I have learned something as a team member because my leader has asked me, she believes in it, so it is my responsibility to follow and achieve as much as I can. So it's your bent of mind, it's your attitude which makes you a good or bad leader out there.
Puneet sir, I'm sorry I'm interrupting. In the chat box, there is a participant, Millie Sangal ma'am. She wants to ask a question. And since it's already 5:22, shall we give the opportunity to our participants to ask questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do that. I'm sure some of them will cover what we wanted to ask. Millie ma'am, please go on. You wanted to ask a question.
Okay, ma'am. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, my question is what kind of trait is leadership acquired or inherited, sir?
Ma'am, so there is a very debatable question: are the leaders are born or they can be made? So of course they can be made. There are some people who are born with certain traits, of course, but then your overall macro environment puts you into the right places and everything, and a lot depends upon your personality. Somebody is very vocal, somebody is very silent, somebody is, so look at the leadership. If I say, I again go back to the example of cricket, for example, when Saurabh Ganguly, I don't know, you enjoy cricket? You watch cricket? Millie ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So,
yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
All right. So there is a captain we had called Saurabh Ganguly at one point in time, and he became a captain when Indian cricket was going through a very bad phase. There are a lot of match fixing allegations, things like that. He became the captain, and he was the opener batsman with Sachin Tendulkar. After that, there's another person came in called Virendra Sehwag, very attacking batsman. As a leader, Saurabh Ganguly pushed himself to down 4 and allowed Virendra Sehwag to open with Sachin Tendulkar. So, the deadly player of Sachin and Saurabh, he put himself onto the spot, has gone down, asked somebody else, and say, you open the inning, and Sachin and Sehwag become again a deadly combination out there. So leadership is something, and everybody considers Saurabh is a very born leader. And he has those abilities to bring the team together and those traits, of course. Then second leadership came, which we all have seen in recent past, is Dhoni. Everything he will do, but at the time when it comes to take the credit, you would not find him there. India won the World Cup.
Yes, sir. That happens, sir.
Trophies with the juniors and with everybody else, and Dhoni is just walking around, casually out there. These are the things which we just watch and learn that what leadership is all about. We put people into the front and we do not take the credit for any good thing which has happened because of our collective efforts. He's the leader, of course. He has to face the criticism. He has to get the appreciation also. but how he was dealing with the junior most person. The junior most person was giving the opportunity to lift the trophy. So leadership is one thing which keeps as I've been saying it again and again, that you watch people, you imbibe certain things. And I remember again, I take the example of one of my previous organization director, thought of a great idea. We a bunch of people who were the most intellectual people. We were at India International Center. He conceived everything, planned everything to the power of last full stop. On the day of the event, he was sitting in the just front of the event, was not there on the stage itself. He says,
Yes.
I have conceived, given, let you guys now take it forward. I'm here because he was about 70 or something. He says, this organization you have to take forward. I'm there, I have thought, but you guys take it forward so you can feel more connected with the process rather than doing something in my honor, in my respect, or in my, whatever, because I want something like that. So you see your leaders and imbibe certain positive things. I tell you, when I was in a financial world, my boss was there, and that was a time when early 90s, Maruti was a big car that time. He used to come and he would not allow any peon to go and get anything from his car. He will pick his own lunchbox, he will pick his own bag, and he'll walk through. And I used to see from my window that this man can order anybody, and all the peons are there, battery of peons are there for him, but he will not. He will just open, and he still does it. And I learned this thing from him there. I don't allow anybody to come. It's a small little thing, but it makes a lot of difference of your work ethics, the way you look at things out there, and maybe in the process you inspire. He inspired me by doing all his work by himself. And I thought, this is a great thing. I will never be dependent on anybody, So those little habits remain with me even today. And very minor, कहने को बहुत छोटी सी चीज है, लेकिन आप सीख जाते हो किसी से. ये कोई किताब नहीं सिखाती आपको, ये आप अपने ऑब्जर्वेशन से चीजों को देखते हो, सीखते हो. So something where you feel connected, कि this is humility, and you feel that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Millie ma'am, I am a live example for you. That leadership skills can be acquired. I must say, Amit sir, I was one of the most introvert students who hardly used to speak a word. And during PTM, I remember my class teacher told my parents that Charu ऐसा लगता है सुबह जहाँ आके बैग रख के बैठती है, छुट्टी टाइम उठ के वहीं से जाती है. I have not seen her getting up, talking to anybody, opening her mouth in the classes, or giving any answers. And you see the circumstances, the training, and the people you meet in the journey, and of course what the attitude that sir was talking about. You see why that I'm here. This is just being modest, that yes, it is an acquired skill. Attitude also can be molded, and leadership is definitely an acquired skill. You have some, but I think when we talk about 80-20, I think 80 is what you acquire and 20 is what you have. You take in. It's a two-way street. You have to be like a sponge. You have to absorb, otherwise you won't be full. So,
sure, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, participants, do we have more questions? Anyone has any questions that anyone can think of?
Ma'am, can I ask a question, ma'am?
Yes, Savita ma'am. I was waiting for you to ask a question. You're never quiet. I'm so happy about it. I was seeing your face, and the moment your camera was switched on, I got the hint that you wanted to ask a question. I love you for this. Please go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Amit sir, for your wonderful words. And I have been following each and everything, and even I'm comparing it with my life also. So, sir, I have a question. In every team, we find one team leader and one team manager. There is a team leader and a team manager. So, what is the difference between their work?
As far as manager, leader, there's a book which is very beautiful book. Whenever you have a time, if you have not read, please read. This is by Robin Sharma, called, there's nothing called the titles per se. So whether you call whatever, the designation, which it has no meaning at all. It is the hierarchy, of course, has been defined by the organization that who comes where in the slot. But then leader or manager, when you're calling a leader, the leader is, of course, is a bigger thing than a manager. But manager is someone who's managing the thing by book if you go. But CBSE, for example, called owner as a manager. So you may be chairman of the school, but CBSE doesn't recognize a chairman per se as a designation. This is the manager who's the manager of the school, who's the trustee of the school. So designation has no shelf life. It will not take you anywhere. If you think that I become this and that means that I know everything, I think it's a misnomer. Leader taking the ability to everybody together, and as Puneet sir was asking, how do you manage the conflict, or how do you manage the different set of people? That's what the leadership is all about. When again I come back to the example of Saurabh Ganguly, or say for example Dhoni, he was idolizing Sachin Tendulkar. We all have seen his film when he bought a poster of Sachin Tendulkar for his room, right? And then Sachin Tendulkar is playing under him. Who's leader? Dhoni is the leader. But the game leader was Sachin Tendulkar, god of cricket out there. He was managing Rahul Dravid, such a accomplished player. He was managing Saurabh Ganguly, he was managing Anil Kumble, he was managing all big guys, big guns. Was managed by a very young person, right? So the designation was he's the captain of the Indian team. But then he knows very well that Sachin may be good in cricket, but he may not be good in everything what he does. So maybe tomorrow when he'll play football, I will teach him how to play football, how to play chess, because I'm the master of the chess. So it is all about, first of all, we need to revolve around our leadership, believe in what she is saying, believe in the vision of the organization. Whether you treat me, whether you give me any designation, it may have some social values, but for me internally, if you put me on a top pedestal, and if you know that nobody asked him for any kind of a suggestion, his strategy has not been implemented and things like that, what designation, what will I do with that designation? And I'll give you a very live example. One of the top selling newspaper of India is called Times of India. When person attains the age of 58, director level, and they know that person has lost the kind of a vision what organization needs, they don't ask that person to leave. They put him in the same position, same cabin, same designation. They don't give any word. And you feel more frustrated. I'm sitting in a room, I have a designation, but I have no power. I can't do anything. Nobody is trusting me anymore. So this is again kind of a little leadership, right or wrong, has been used by the corporate sector to make you leave on your own rather than asking you to leave. So designations has its own shelf life, but it is not everything. I don't think a good person who's bubbling with energy and who has great ideas, who wants to grow more in life, any leader would not pick her up because she's well due. Today the time has come. Please read a book called Outlier. The early you start in your career, the better you become. Right? So the book says, if you spend 10,000 hours in one skill, you will become the world beater. So when I say Sachin, he started at 16. There's a lot of examples you can give. Mozart, who became the legendary, but he started very low. Therefore, his age was on a higher side out there. So it is your own ability to believe in you, have the positive attitude, believe in your leadership, have a transparent communication with it, and do unnecessary criticism is not going to help. What will help is to believe in your teacher and believe in your leader and do exactly maybe more. I can beat you in your game. You may be my leader. I can beat you in your game by thinking better than you. And then you respect me that, look, he is or she is my person because he thinks like me. He is more innovative, a better innovator than me. So as a leader, I will not feel complex. I will not have any inferiority complex. Somebody will replace me. That's not. A good leadership will always try to promote you. And as I said, in our organization, the concept is revolving leadership. You don't have to fall in love with with one particular kind of a work which you have been asked to do. Tomorrow I may say I'm an entrepreneur. I may say tomorrow that look, you are wonderful, you have achieved this. Now you mentor this, but start a new business for you. Right? So I have to start afresh again. While I may have a 10-year experience in one particular trade, a lot of people would say, why should I? Because I've invested so much of time, money, my network. Why should I start fresh? Because tomorrow this may successful, this may not successful. So it is your attitude. It is your entrepreneurial mind. How much you believe in yourself. And if I put myself into a situation hire and fire, ठीक है आज मैंने कोई vertical मेरे को काम करने को दिया, I prove myself. I have gained more confidence. Give me another task, I will prove myself there. अभी आप लोगों ने एक सीरीज देखी होगी शायद हर्षद मेहता के ऊपर, which has come on Sony Live, The Scam 1992. Of course, it's a story of doing something which is probably not so ethical. But look at the attitude of the person. If you see the attitude of the person, not the negativity. He was the one who was the owner of the company, but would not mind to go for a cold calling to meet someone to whom he wants to meet. Because of his attitude, he knows that he has to reach there. Employee and employer, the difference I'm talking about. The moment you think that like an employee, this organization belongs to me, my organization, your attitude will change. You will not work 9 to 5. A good human, a good professional will never work 9 to 5. I go back, I keep thinking what best I can do, how I can change it. And I come back, maybe at 2 in the night, I got a call, still it happens. 2 in the night, I get a call, this is the idea, why are you doing? What are you doing? रात को 2 बजे क्या बोलोगे, क्या कर रहे थे, सोई रहते ना. तो लेकिन वो उस वक्त फोन आता है और पूछते हैं कि ये आइडिया है, बिकॉज हम अभी जगे हुए हैं, हमको ये आइडिया ब्रेन वेव आया है, विल इट वर्क? एंड यू डोंट से कि यार अभी क्यों रात को फोन किया, आई कैन गेट क्रिटिकल. It doesn't work like. You need to think like the entrepreneur, like a thinker, and you will grow more. Not this organization, that organization, but you will grow more in life, because people like this have a very, very rare commodities, who would think 24/7 for the organization. So yes, हमारा अपना विजन क्या है, हमारे अपने बारे में अपना विजन. हम बस ये कि हम 1 साल हो गया, हम 10% की ग्रोथ कर लेंगे, हम 12% की ग्रोथ हो गई. That is horizontal growth. Why don't we think about a vertical growth? For that we need to work hard, and we have to work the way your leader thinks, and then it becomes endless. Because when the organization will grow, when everything will grow, your leader needs you more than ever, right? And he knows or she knows you are a replacement of many other things. Tomorrow he can be given a more responsibility. We may open another branch because we have a team here. So that's how it keeps working out.
Thank you so much.
And you see, sir, leadership is one thing that never happens. You can never be a one-man army. You need to expand. You need to create more leaders. So it has to, like you talked about, horizontally growing as well as vertical. I mean, tomorrow, if I am a leader today of a school, I need my support system, because I can't do everything on my own, and it's not achievable. It's not about doing. Maybe I would be able to, but you see, it's not achievable. And I don't think it will work for very long.
Impossible. You can't be one man army, and
you can't be.
Therefore, the organization, a army journal cannot go on the front and fire the bullet. For them, he has to have the Jawans, and who have been trained in that particular fashion. He has to have the people in between, the major, the colonels, who would implement his plan. I can be a thinker. I can have a broader vision. I can think 360 degree. And I would want many more people to be with me, so that we can have, greater, the organization. So organization development is the key for any organization, because the more, the better the people you hire. And therefore, I'm saying any good leader would spend more time with HR rather than doing any other thing. I know that, the classes will happen, this will happen, that will happen, everything is happening autopilot. But the vision, which doesn't, आपने कलाम साहब का नाम लिया, उन्होंने तो बोला ही था कि सपने वो हैं जो आपको सोने नहीं देते, नहीं कि आप सोते हुए. So that is where I think is the beautiful statement which summarizes everything. That if at an individual level you may be a professional, you may not be the owner, doesn't matter. Behave like an owner. एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल बताता हूँ मैं आपको. There was a company, big oil field company, and one person walks into the the oil field out there, and he saw that everybody's loitering around, nobody's working and everything. He got very upset. He started shouting, putting everybody, and somebody thought, some boss had come. We have never seen him on otherwise, but he's taking care. He's in charge today. So after that, everybody got into the work mode. Somebody, mustered some courage and had gone to him and said, "Sir, we have never seen you here. May I know who you are and what position you are holding?" He says, "I am the shareholder." And you know how many shares he was holding? One share. Because he knew that I'm a shareholder, the value of my share, one share will go up in the market. I'll become rich if you guys work on it. So we all are the stakeholder of our organization where we are working for. And it is not a limited thing. We have to really, really stretch ourselves and make things in such a manner that we become a much, much bigger what we want to do. And the growth, which eventually we all are rajas, जिसको भगवान ने कहा कर्म योगी हो, जितना कर्म करोगे उतना तुमको फल मिलेगा. तो कर्म योगी का काम क्या है? We all are looking for a growth in our life, but growth will happen only when the organization will grow. It is not possible. Organization is not growing and I want me to grow. It doesn't work like that. So when challenges come, it is not the challenge कि leadership का क्या challenge है. At every level, if we start thinking and giving our best, by believing कि हमें इसको turn around करना है, we will turn it around. There is absolutely no other thing. तो सिंक्रोनाइज होना है, विजन के साथ है, लीडर के साथ चलना है, और हर चीजें में आएंगी. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जब हम दो लोग होंगे तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होना है, उसमें कोई बड़ी बात नहीं. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होना कौन सी बड़ी बात, उसको रिजॉल्व करना बड़ी. उसके लिए आपका एटीट्यूड होना चाहिए, उसके लिए आपको लिसन, ए गुड, एज आई सेड इन द बिगिनिंग, ए लीडर इज अ गुड लिसनर. आप लिसन करिए इस चीज को. आई मे नॉट एक्सेप्ट इमीडिएट, बट इट विल बी देयर इन माय सबकॉन्शियस माइंड, एंड आई विल कम बैक टू यू. इफ इट इज गुड फॉर द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, आई विल एक्सेप्ट. And if you are not accepting a good idea, tomorrow when I think I'm failing, your idea was better than me, I should have the humility to go and say, look, your idea was better than me. Let's accept this and let's do this. Let's fine tune it more, because हमने एक एक्सपीरियंस कर लिया. ओपननेस है, ट्रांसपेरेंट है, पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड है आपका, आप कंपैशनेट हैं अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए. 110%. There is absolutely no way. But in सब चीजों के लिए एक ही चीज की जरूरत है, as ma'am also said, attitude. If you have, nothing is impossible.
Actually, you are explaining Charu ma'am.
Like I said, I was just like to conclude before handing over finally to Nikita ma'am. It's a two-way street, because it's all about building relationships. And you see, when you are achieving something, your relationship, your protocols, your respect for each other, everything has to be in place. Otherwise, what happens? Some of the best ideas have failed just because there was no communication, there was no collaboration, there was no wisdom sharing. So I think we are a country, like I said, which is full of emotions and relationships. I think keeping that as the central power, as the core of our organization, we work for the greater good, and it definitely will have a ripple effect. And
so I probably
being
just
compassionate and being there for the organization is something you have to have in your blood. If you don't own your organization, sir, I don't think it will work.
Absolutely. So let me just share a small little joke towards the end. So there was one person who has got 4 different friends, and he has one business problem, and he thought that he's not being able to solve by himself. So he thought let me go to someone who's a South Indian fellow, and then I'll go and discuss with him. A filter of coffee. They discussed the problem, and the friends suggested him the 4 different solutions. If you look at the problem from this angle, this is the solution. If you look at the problem from this angle, this is the solution. The guy was thinking, I bring one problem, and he made 4 problems out of one problem. So he was little low, and he said, okay, let me go to another friend who's from the eastern part, Bengali. And he went there, and he was smoking, making the smokes in the rings in the air. And so Bengalis eat everything. They say chai khabi, so they don't drink anything. They eat everything. So he heard the problem and said, "Kichu hobe na, nothing can happen till the time Mamata Banerjee will become the chief prime minister of this country." So the guy said, "I brought my problem." He is completely into political mode, like typical Bengalis. So he was thinking that let me go and meet another friend. So he went to Marwadi friend, and Marwadi friend heard the problem and said, I have a solution for you, but whatever the profit, it would be 50-50. So the guy thought, Ki, yaar, this guy is now talking about a 50% of the partnership here. He was completely dejected, and he said, Ki, let me go back and I'll find a solution myself. So while he was going back, he met his Punjabi friend who was always full of life, and he completely shook him up, and he says, Ki, how are you doing and everything. He says, Ki, listen, I'm pretty disturbed. Let me go home. I have some issues in me. He says, no problem. You come with me. Have this lassi. And then in washing machine, they made a lassi of one full glass. You know how Punjabis make lassis. So, he thought, let me just take a chance and explain it to him. And he started narrating the problem with him. Halfway through, the Punjabi fellow asked him to stop. Halfway through. He says, I got the solution. He says, Bus, you hear the problem completely. He says, whatever your problem, the solution is this one. So, we have all kind of people in our life. As I'm saying that, if one thing will not work with everybody. And India per se has so much of difference, diverse culture and everything. When we work together, somebody is from this region, that region, this upbringing, that upbringing. What we have discussed situational, we have discussed the ideal parenting. It doesn't happen in every home in like that. And it doesn't happen, it means there is a lot of disconnect in the family. Your upbringing of your home is also a reflection of your personality out there. So I need to go back and correct many things out there, put the things into the right perspective so that you start looking things from a fresher kid. Look, this is how it works. I may be mature, I may be 25 years of age, but that doesn't mean that I know everything. I need to start from somewhere. And the leadership is amongst all attributes. I think the patience is something which makes you a winner. And the two qualities which I think every good leader typically has, patience and perseverance. If I believe in something, if I know that my path is correct, I will never deviate. I may continuously evolve and continuously follow that. So amongst when we talk about many things, everyone should also focus a lot on these two aspects, and it will not be developed overnight. As in army, what the lesson they teach is, when you are angry, when you have to complain about someone, you are very bad in mood and everything, they ask you, when you say, I want to complain today, he says, come after 2 days. He knows that in 2 days your temper will go down, you see the perspective, and when we'll talk to you, you will understand more. So do not react, respond the situation. If you are responding your situations, you will be a winner. If you keep reacting everything at home, in office, with your kids, where in society, there will always a confrontation. And in confrontation, we will never find a logic. We will always find,
Thank you so much.